like and subscribe. How did you learn to hook up at bars and clubs? When did things click for you, and what is normal? Yes, this is another sexual question in /r/AskMen. Most other things I can just Google the answer to, but I can't with this one. Personally, I almost always hook up with dating apps, through friend groups, and only once at a house party. I hear about and see people hooking up at bars a lot, and I want to learn how to. Unfortunately, bars aren't so much my scene as I don't like drinking too much, so I don't want to waste a bunch of evenings just hanging around bars. I'm pretty confident, and I'm not afraid to approach someone I'm attracted to unless I'm at the bar alone, then I feel self-conscious. I just sit alone with my drink and people watch. If you're well dressed / groomed, and halfway attractive, you'll start catching people looking at you. Throw them a smile, and if they reciprocate, walk on over. Keyword alone. Get away from the boys for a bit. It'll make you more approachable. Interesting that you are fine goofing around on apps, but not hanging out in bars. The benefit with a bar is that what you see is what you get. So in addition to not wasting time chatting, swiping, you also avoid people who use old or edited pics or pics taken from very beneficial poses. In general, going with a few friends, preferably some women in your party, is best. At least you have the label of being a decent bloke and not totally repulsive / axe murder. The choice of bar is also important. After all, you need to be somewhere interesting women go to. Look like you are enjoying yourself. People go to bars to have fun and many to also meet other people. Strike up some conversation with people around you. Walk a bit away from your group from time to time. Basically open yourself up to conversation. If you look decent, women that are interested will often come to you. Then the clue is to figure out what these women actually want. Some does just want to have a drink with their friend and catch up. Some just want to be seen. Some don't know what they want, and some are actively looking for a hookup. After spending a lot of time in a bar, it is shocking to me how many men spend time and money on women that obviously are not looking for something. To the point where they harass them or pressure them to drink, etc. Total waste of time and frankly disgusting. A bar is also like a small ecosystem. People see what others do, many are familiar with each other. So if you treat one client bad, others will pick up on it, and sometimes actively warn others about you, if behave like an idiot. Basically treat everyone nice, because it works the other way around too. Befriend the bartenders and tip. So if you strike up a conversation with two women, that turns out have a partner, be polite and fun. Keep the conversation going for a few minutes, if they seem interested to talk, and leave them alone. You never know, maybe their hot single friend will arrive a bit later, and they thought you seemed nice enough to point it out to her later. Same goes with dudes. If you don't like to drink too much, that is actually great. This is a problem for a good percentage of guys going to pubs. They will be drunk by 22 and sloppy drunk by 23. Sure, some has success with picking up girls drunk, but in general being able to keep a conversation without slurring increase your chances a lot. Finally, if you find a woman that likes to hook up, don't mess around. She wants to hook up, so make sure she understands you want to. Better make your intention clear. Either you escalate for going home together, or ask for her number, if the situation is not favorable for an immediate hookup. If you don't do this, you risk her thinking you are not interested, and will go for her second choice. Alternatively, she makes you aware that you misread the signs. It happens, they change their mind, or whatever. Then you still have time to look for something else. Last, be prepared for a hookup. It is a bit a mental state of mind. Clean your crib before you go out. You probably should do that anyhow. Have condoms, a bottle of wine, and maybe some beer at home. You don't want to ruin it on the doorstep if you actually manage to get someone to go home with you. Edit. Thanks for the awards, guys. I will add a few more points. Tip the bartender first. While you may not like it, many countries have laws, so the bartenders get a very low salary. No tip means they work grossly underpaid. Secondly, tipping the bartender pays for itself. You get better service. Maybe they let you book the good table. Sometimes they slip you a drink, or they will make something custom for you on a busy night. Third, a bartender knows what is up in the city. They can get you information you cannot find online. Lastly, some bartenders could make your night difficult if you do not tip them. OFC not nice, but C.1. Another thing that a bar for going for it is that it offers a different dating pool. Some women are not on the apps for whatever reason. Also, let us be real, a lot of women will only swipe a certain type, or the top 10% most attractive dudes. It is the way it works, nothing wrong with that. Still, many of these women that will give you a chance if you approach them at a bar. A bar is also the place for hot leads. Where do people go when their BF dump them? Yay, they hit the bar with their friends. Where do people go when they are in a good mood to celebrate something? Jep, the bar. I have always liked bars, and I still go when I have a chance to, even after being in a serious relationship for a long time. It is a great place to get your dose of social life in a casual setting. You meet people, learn things about them and the city. Long story short, I think bars are underrated. Honestly, bars and nightclubs are a vibe. Sometimes I go in there, and I feel 100% ready, and others I'm out of it. And then sometimes, even though I'm in it, the place feels off, or I constantly struck out. Always remember that bars/nightclubs are a giant mixture of how you feel / how the PPL/music /scene/etc etc. It all needs to line up nicely for you to score. Good luck, but don't feel bad if it doesn't work out for you. It's part luck and part how ready you are. So you can only do so much. Pro tip: if you are at a bar and you make eye contact with a girl, just wave her over. If she gives a no thanks vibe, then just smile and shrug it off. That way you don't need to have some cheesy line or whatever, and you accomplish the same goal without looking like a douche. If the bar is crowded / loud, you probably need to hit the dance floor to meet someone tbh. You might get a bathroom hookup girl, but that's rare and fairly high risk endeavor. I've had the best luck with girls who come sit next to me and start chatting without me trying to pick them up. I never learned this skill. All the women I have ended up with, either I met through school or work. Every time I go to a bar, it has felt like a weird competition. Being a man is pretty much one big weird competition. I'm happy to fold and keep my chips most of the time. Nothing wrong with that, emo. You just have to keep engaging until it clicks. One weekend everything will come together, and then it'll be consistent and fluid from then on. It is like learning to stop on ice skates. Once you do it perfectly once, it just kind of sticks. It's not a set of rules. There's no cookie cutter way about it. You can't just input X and output sex. Everything is circumstantial. Earlier a man mentioned being well dressed, alone, and aware, but my best success has been from going and wingmaning for a friend. Hey, this is my buddy, he is insert positive traits about the person. That shows people that you're not trying, and you're a good person trying to hook your buddy up. This wasn't a play, I'm just saying the best times I've had getting with people have been when I'm not trying at all, and trying to get my roommate laid. There is something to the other point about catching eyes with someone else, and then going to talk to them as well. Just don't overthink it, and don't be weird. Don't expect anything, treat everyone with respect, and have fun. If you think you're gonna get anywhere with those hookup books about manipulating women, you're very likely going to creep them out and kill your chances. Those books are made by losers to con money out of other, bigger, losers. I don't know. Sometimes when I've went to bars, girls have liked me. Nothing in a bar ever led to a relationship, though. Through trial and error, really. It is leagues different than online apps, where it is not face to face with real women or men. I have learned it is best to observe then approach casually. Make sure your communication game is grade A. Speak more about what you observed your target doing or talking about with friends. Make sure your topic is relevant, and you speak with humor / passion and enthusiasm. The friends, they are your greatest hurdle here. You need to win them first, and need to be on board with you way before you're on to your target. Then just be you. Separation from the bar or club and be personable. Make subtle moves if you want that hookup. If she takes the bait, close the deal. If not, move on to another. People overthink too much. I'm an introverted nerd who has difficulty talking to anybody, much less woman. But I met my GF at a bar because I was loose enough to talk to her. Story time. Why the F not? I was single, and at my local hangout, a college football game was on the TV and the local team was winning, and the bar was handing out shots every score. It was a high-scoring game. I was getting a little tipsy after halftime, and ordered a spinach and artichoke dip and chips. Right after I ordered, a friend of a friend walked in with her dude and a short brunette in tow who I had not met. It was a bar like 2 blocks from where I lived. I did go there fairly frequently at the time. I was that lonely. I never went to talk to people, really just to people watch. I was sitting near the door and the friend of a friend saw me, and we exchanged hellos. They introduced me to the brunette, and she just said hi, and that she needed to use the bathroom, and disappeared toward the bathrooms. The friend of a friend disappeared as well somewhere. Couple minutes later, the short brunette walks back up to my table, and asked if I've seen her friend. I had not. Perfect timing. My spinach and artichoke dip gets dropped off on my table by the tell waitress and shorty, who I'm going to reference as from now on out. I'm tall, she is not. Says, hey, I love that stuff. Can I have some? I respond, of course. Help yourself. Would you like a beer? And she does. So I get her one. She asks what I do for a living, and I work in it. So she asks me about some horror stories I have. I tell them. She's getting a laugh out of it. All that took about 15 minutes. The friend appears out of nowhere and, hey, we are leaving. Come on. Wait, I gotta pee first. So I pulled out my cell phone, and in no sober state I would have ever done this. I unlock it, whip out my phone app, slide it across the table, and say, can you dial your number in here, so I can save it, and tell you more horror stories in the future? And she smiled at me, and put in her number, and even texted me back, to make sure we had each other's number. The friend showed up. They left. We texted for a few days, went on a couple dates, etc etc. We celebrate 10 years this coming January. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.